We're live. Welcome back to Proud Masculine. Do a little live on the drive. Man, good day. Got a little work done this morning. Did a bunch of running. Got to go see Mrs. Proud Masculine for fresh beignets. Spend a little time today on this wonderful Memorial Day. Made a meeting and caught what could possibly be one of the last decent, cool nights here on the lakefront. All of today, from this morning, has been spontaneous, unplanned. It's an awesome day. So how's everybody tonight? I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day. I want to send a shout out and a heartfelt thank you for all those who paid the ultimate sacrifice and served this country and fight for our freedoms every day, knowing what they're putting on the line. And honestly wish we did more to honor the ones that are here. Rockadoodle, what's up, brother? But yeah, awesome day today. And there was not one thing about it planned. I got up this morning to go get lumber, realizing it's Memorial Day. Lumberyard is closed, so no lumber. And from then I just winged it. Went to the gym for a little while, went to meet my love for some beignets. I don't know if y'all eat beignets, but we do in Louisiana. They're delicious. Got to go home for a little bit. Went to a meeting and had a little sit out by the lake while it's still nice and cool. Now I'm headed home. So I decided to do the live stream on the drive home tonight. Ah, shit, you know what I forgot about? I have to get gas. That's all right. We'll get gas on the live. How about that? I completely forgot about that. Shit. That's all right. We'll work it in. Well, good. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a great day. Yeah, I got to tell you, no live streams this weekend. I was down for the count. Down for the count. And yesterday was our day together. By the end of the night, I was just kind of wore out. And it got to be too late. But, so, I did that free one-on-one giveaway. And as y'all know, in the last stream I talked about it, I wound up awarding it to two people. There was a lot of great entries. What's up, Jaeger? A lot of great entries. And there were two that stuck out, regulars on the channel, two sincere young men who absolutely deserve it. So it was supposed to be one, I did two. It's my contest, I can do that if I want. And I'm gonna run another one for next month, for June, after this month. So it's Billy the Kid and Ayush. I've announced to both of them. I haven't seen them both on here in a while, but they're just busy young men living their lives. And I actually heard back from Billy. What's up? Jose. Hola. So we're gonna pull up here in a minute. I'm gonna get a few dollars in gas to get me home. I'll fill up in the morning. We just had a beautiful day. Myself and my rock girl in the parade today. Awesome, brother. Memorial Day parade, huh? This is a really important holiday that, it's supposed to be a day of remembrance for the fallen who paid the ultimate sacrifice. We actually got to talking about that in the meeting I was in. And I'm I think we'll jump on sacrifice as a topic right after I get this few dollars of gas in here, just to get us to the house. So y'all hold on a second. I'm gonna set you down a minute. I'll be right back. Pardon my unprofessionalism and not having this stuff prepared, but I need gas. I don't know what you want me to do. All right, I'm back. We'll just sit here a minute. Well, let me, yeah, I think sacrifice would be an appropriate topic tonight. Sacrifice and what that means. You know, we had a pretty in-depth discussion about this in the meeting I was in. And I couldn't think of a more fitting day to have that discussion about sacrifice and what that means and what it is. You know, sacrifice is giving up something that benefits you financially, spiritually, physically, mentally, giving that up in service of something else. So, what's up, B Rabs? Good to see you, man. Ain't seen you in a minute. How you been? And what people fail to understand is through life, anything of quality that you're going to gain, you're going to sacrifice something. And what that looks like in different contexts. Oh, look, a girl's vomiting. A girl had too much to drink. Y'all want to see her throwing up? She's yakking. Hold on. All right. Yeah. So what sacrifice looks like to any given individual obviously depends on the circumstance in which you're sacrificing. I'll use an example of my son and I talking. Y'all know my son, PM Jr., Proudmasculine Jr., is in a transitional period in his life. He's 21 years old, going through some changes, starting to take his life more seriously, starting to feel a sense of urgency about his future and his current circumstances. So, and here's the dilemma. And look, I went through this, and there's nobody that I don't know that is self-made and successful that hasn't had this very experience and have to confront this exact same thing. Is where's the sacrifice? What's it going to be? And what I try to explain to him is you got to give something up to make room for something else. You know, ideally, you could fit everything you love to do in a day. But you got to think about your priorities, right? Especially at as a young man in your early 20s. And this is what I tell him. And this is something I tell him because if I had to go back and I had to do this later in life, which is something, hold up, got a Bible verse. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Mark 10:40. That's a beautiful rockadoodle. We're going to put that right up at the top on the pen. Well, there you go. There's a perfect example of sacrifice. Jesus sacrificed his life for man, for us. God gave his only begotten son. And At the end of the day, we're all here to serve in one way or another, whatever that looks like to each individual. But as God's children, what's up, Rodera? Look at everybody starting to come in now. Come on in, sweetie. And if y'all are in here, hit that like button. So what I tell my son about the whole sacrifice thing is what's up, sweet pea? Look who came in the cat drug in tonight, y'all. Long time no see, sweetie. It's gonna be one of those old rerun live streams I see, huh? All my OGs popping back up. Oh, by the way, I reached out to Eric, y'all. He's doing better. His surgery was a success. So take a minute to say thank you to God for that. Anyway, telling my son about sacrifices, like he has a very involved life, right? But he's not pleased, he's not content with where he is financially and in business. So, I explained to him what needs to happen, what needs to be done in order to achieve the results that he's seeking. And like he has a 9 to 5. He's got a 9 to 5. He's got his side business, his side hustle, which is a good little hustle that he started all by himself. He works out, he trains jiu-jitsu, and in social time. And you see, after his 9 to 5 is when he fills in all these other gaps, right? The social, the recreational, the jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu and working out, I think, is a necessary part of life as a man, to be a fully integrated man. Not necessarily jiu-jitsu, but self-defense, some type of worthy martial art. And I think that's one of the capability of violence has to be on the list of things a man should be able to do. So that's necessary. So it was working out, keeping fit, taking care of your body, longevity. You look better, you feel better, you make better decisions. Quality of life was overall better when you're in good shape. So that's up there with a priority. As a priority, I mean, your health, your money, business going there with can be classed with money. All important things. And so what he does have left over is Saturday, Sunday, and the time in between his 9 to 5s, right? So I explained to him that you're going to have to sacrifice something. Either it's friend time, or weekends ain't for fun anymore. Weekends are for work. Weekends are for building business. And it's just the way it is. You're not going to be able to, if everything's full, there needs to be something that's moved to make room for something else. That's just the laws of life, of nature. There's got to be room, and it requires sacrifice. And sacrifice is a necessary ingredient of the recipe of success. Sacrifice, commitment, discipline, perseverance, willingness to learn, fail, willingness to try new things, willingness to take risks, the discipline to stick with the plan, the perseverance to push through when things aren't going exactly as planned and make it work. When you fail, the perseverance to get back up and keep going, and the commitment to the process. It keeps going and going and going. So, and of sacrifice, and that is sacrificing yourself for others. Now, here's where people go a little cross-eyed on me. I don't mean you become a doormat, but I mean if there's something available for you to be of service for somebody with no benefit or reward and no recognition of it, that's sacrifice. Like if you see somebody eating pizza and they got one slice left and they say, I can't eat that, and you like eating pizza, that's not a sacrifice. You're not helping these people. If you have some stuff you're working through, some defects of character that you're shedding, like being self-absorbed, and you give that, you're not sacrificing your selfishness, because that's a benefit. That's not a sacrifice. A sacrifice has to be something where you're you're put out monetarily, time-wise, mentally, physically, spiritually. Like you're putting yourself out. You're sacrificing something you want that you have for the good of somebody else. That's a sacrifice. And if we think about that, how often do we really do that in life? And I'd say not nearly enough. Now, you will find that when you do that, how rewarding it is by default. And I'm not suggesting that you self-sacrifice for a reward, for gain, but that is a byproduct of it. A heightened and purpose does come along with sacrifice. But I'm not saying that's why that shouldn't be the motive. And I do my best. I don't always get to. I don't always do it when I recognize I should. And that doesn't mean when things are going spectacular for me, the bills are paid, nuts are drained, stomach is full, we got food in the pantry, hot and cold water, roof over our heads, that I can go throw a little change to somebody. That doesn't sound like sacrifice to me. Like if I have nothing to give and I see somebody struggling and I make a way to help them, that's a sacrifice. It truly is. And I think that's the way humanity is built, and built to thrive on these principles, these godly principles. I think especially now in modern times, we've completely lost touch with the sense of humanity and what that means. Everything is about, how does it benefit me? What do I get out of it? Everything's so transactional. Relationships have become transactional, and friendships. And look, a business partnership should be transactional. It's in the meaning, the business. But there's still things you can do within business to still be able to give without any expectation of return. So if we really think about it, think about driving home, it's starting to drizzle, say it's raining, and you see somebody on the side of the road with a flat tire and they need help changing their tire. You got to get out and help them. That's a sacrifice. Driving past and calling a tow truck for them, that's not a sacrifice. So, you get what I'm saying. And I just think that's what's lacking in society. Everywhere you look, it's something wanting to take from you. Any industry is about gain, gain, gain. It's capitalism. And look, I'm a capitalist. I believe and I support capitalism 100%. But there can be functional mutual benefit within modern times in society, and even in capitalism, where other people can benefit. Something can be given. And it's like in today's society, we are more in need of humanity. Well, I say as any time as I can remember. I'm only 48, but it's just like humanity is in desperate need of connection and sacrifice. And it's all about, this world is all about what can I gain? And I'm guilty of this. I'm not trying to pass the buck on society at large, I do the same thing. How is this going to benefit me? What do I gain? And I think it just comes as a part of human nature when we're not plugged into God and plugged into the Spirit. We become so consumed with self. Absolutely, Rockadoodle. We live in a what are you going to do for me society. And that's just the way things have turned. All this technology, all this ease of life, like if you think about it, life is not that hard compared to what it used to be. Look back 100 years ago. Go back into the pioneer days and the medieval times, and life was hard. Life was dangerous. Now you have modern everything, modern medicine, modern money, modern comforts, luxuries. This is the most comfortable and secure we've ever been, yet so many people are lacking. So many people are in need. But it's all caused by greed. It's all caused by greed and selfishness, total self-centeredness. Look on social media these days. It's filled with people with this narcissistic tendencies to just constantly take pictures of themselves and put their lives out in the front. Like, hey, look at me, and it's all a lie. It's a facade. I know social media influencers. I know what goes into portraying what that Instagram page shows. And let me tell y'all something. It is empty. There's nothing behind it. It's hollow. It's a shell game. There's nothing to see. The moment you see where that person's in that perfect position, holding that item or sporting that clothes in that fancy location, it was all intentional. Most oftentimes, the whole picture is all that was the experience was all about. A snapshot of that moment. That was the whole trip. Think about that. The lengths these people go to put themselves on display for attention. That's lack. That's need. That's loneliness. What's being portrayed in the picture and the snapshot has nothing to do with what's really going on in these people's lives. It's empty. Because they're trying to fill this God in humanity shaped hole with things and likes and money and approval and attention and validation. All these things that can't be attained, nothing fits in that void. That void is not filled up by things. There's no way to, there's only one thing that fits in that God shaped hole. And I'll let you guess what it is. You know, it's modernity that's killing humanity. Like I went into, I go to stores and shit, and I'm starting to see these young people, like at the grocery stores or these little places I might stop and grab a bite to eat. These young people working, man, disconnected. The whole place, nobody's paying attention to anything. Bunch of zombies walking around in a trance on this fucking phone. Totally disconnected from what's going on around. They don't know what's going on, let alone that there's another fucking person there. And they're trying to just connect with something through the phone. And they got a room full of people that they can just look up and say hi to. They got a beautiful sky out. You got all this nature, all these things to see and admire in God's world. And we have our face stuck in these little boxes with a bunch of nothing rotting our brains. So, I mean, what really needs to be done? You can find every little comfort you need within the confines of your house in this little device right here. It's empty. It's hollow. No substance. no joy. So, well, that took a turn away from the topic, but I guess it had to be said. I don't rehearse this shit, y'all. I don't rehearse this stuff. I mean, this is actually why I encourage people to come into my lives. I encourage people to join a Telegram. I want to see people, like-minded people, connect. And I think a lot of people in modern society don't even know what it feels like to be connected to another human being in any way, shape, or form. Not romantically, not a true friendship, like really getting to know somebody and having that human connection. I honestly think there's people in the world who haven't experienced that yet. And that's sad. Because if now, more than ever in history, we've got more time on our hands to do shit with than ever. And it's like the more time we have, the less time we spend out and about with society. People withdraw. And I honestly think that's by design, but we're not going to get into all that. I just encourage you to get out more. Go connect. Connect with something. Connect with nature. Connect with another person. Nobody knows their neighbors anymore. When I grew up, I knew everybody on my street by first and last name. I knew my neighbors' birthdays. It was Claire and Mr. Buddy on the right. I used to go to their house when I was a little kid. Just go knock on their door and go visit. I could name everybody from my house to the corner. Where I used to live, where my ex now lives with Junior, I knew my neighbor on the right, my neighbor on the left. That was it. Mr. Howard, because he was old, and he was just a friendly old guy, and Larry to the right, because he had a Labrador